Hi there, welcome to another video from CloudAsta on Gemini. Today we're going to be focused on Gemini AI, the meetings and messaging SKU. We have a couple of different videos that we've talked about recently, overviewing the different options for Gemini AI. So Google Gemini AI comes in Enterprise Business, Enterprise Enterprise, Enterprise Security, and Enterprise Meetings and Messaging, which is what we'll be focusing on today. If you want to find out more about our other videos, you can check this playlist for those details. So Gemini AI Meetings and Messaging is focusing specifically on those features that are going to be living in things like Google Meet. So those look like generative backgrounds, some visual settings like studio look, sound, and lighting, real-time translated captions into multiple different languages, the ability for Google Meet to take notes for you, which is available on some platforms. And then more upcoming features, doing that translation, automatic language detection, some adaptive audio depending on the different feedback that's going on within the meeting, screen share watermark to discourage copying and unauthorized distribution, and on-demand conversation summaries in Google Chat. Just an overview of the features how this overlaps with the other SKUs. So you can see with Gemini Business and Gemini Enterprise, lots of these functionalities are included in those SKUs. But if you see in Business, the live translated captions and the take notes for me is not part of that. They are included in Enterprise, and it's included in AI Meetings and Messaging. If we've looked at the table like this before, these are all of the functionalities that AI Meetings and Messaging include. There are lots of other things that are included in Business and Enterprise and Security, but these are the ones to be focusing on for Meetings and Messaging. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of demo, and we're going to switch over to a Google Meet that I have set up. So hello, you can see me in 17 places now. So I have myself in this meeting. We're going to be focusing on a couple of different things. So let's look at the visuals for a second. So if I go into my more options and I go to apply visual effects, if I go over to appearance, we can see we have studio lighting on. So if we could toggle that on and off, it will go ahead and change. And I can go ahead and tweak that if I wanted to go and make it more, depending on, you can see the different things going on, the different lights, and we can change the different colors of lights or switch it back to auto. The studio look to sharpen up the features so people can see me better. If I turn that on and off, you may see some immediate changes. You may not. I've got some good lighting going on right now. Portrait touch-up, lightly touch up my appearance. Framing, so that way if I'm moving around, it's going to go ahead and frame me in that space. A couple different styles that you can also click in here as well, and some studio sound to improve the sound that you're hearing. That's automatically happening in the background. There's no setting that you need to go ahead and change for that. These are not new things for Gemini AI in filters. Let me go over to backgrounds. So the blur and personal backgrounds and all these stills, that's all standard. But Gemini AI Meetings and Messaging has this generative backgrounds. So what you can do here is we can generate a background based off of what you're looking for. So I'm going to hit generate a background. I'm going to change this to a baseball stadium filled with leaves from the fall. Let's see if it does anything for you. There are different styles you can put in here as well. I'm just going to leave it on no style for the moment and see what it brings up for me. So you're going to have to give this a minute or two. Again, depending on what your prompt is, it may be a great result. It may need a little bit more help. And look at that. We have two examples here that we can go ahead and pull in. I think I'm going to go ahead and try this one out. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's what I asked for. Right, so I can go ahead and maybe change this to be a little bit different. On the moon with my pet unicorn. Let's really kind of go totally in a different direction and see if it goes and can meet the challenge that we're offering it today. All right, so on the moon with my pet unicorn, I'm going to go ahead and hit this. This is more of just like an image rather than a background, so it's not my favorite. But if I go back, I can see some of the ones that I've used in the past. I'm going to go ahead and pull this one up, which was a snowy beach that had some different examples here for me. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that on for the moment because I think that was really helpful. Okay. And then the last feature that I want to highlight quickly, actually I have two features, is the translated captions. So in the past, you could turn on these captions and you can get the captions here that are showing what I'm talking about. But now with Gemini in Meet, if you go into your settings, if we go over down here to captions, you can change this so that way it's on translated captions and automatically translate the captions into one of many languages. You can see a lot of these are currently in beta, but some are not. So I'm going to leave this on Spanish, and I'm going to automatically see those translating into Spanish here for me when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about. So that way, if you have folks who would prefer for there to be captions translated into different languages, you can have that here as well. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to go ahead and show off is in the top right here, this Take Notes with Gemini. So you can see it tells you a little bit what's going on, providing a recap of the meeting conversation. You have a little information on how it takes notes. A new doc will be created in Drive. The document will be attached to the calendar event and shared with the guests. I could also transcribe the meeting. I could also record the meeting. I'm just going to leave it on transcribe and hit start taking notes. And then Gemini is going to start taking notes for me. It says it could take a few minutes for the notes to appear. And it's going to go ahead and tell us about what we're talking about in our meeting. So today we talked about creating custom generative backgrounds using Gemini AI with Google Meet. We talked about the different studio look and lighting options, how studio sound is also a feature that's enabled, and the different live translated captions that you can go ahead and toggle between, with some of those languages being in beta, but many of them being active right now. So we should be able to get these if we obviously you can have a longer meeting and you'll be able to go ahead and have these notes quicker, but these notes will appear in your drive, in that file, in my drive, and attached to the calendar event if there is a calendar for the meeting. And you'll be able to see those once you get going. Here I just want to show you a little bit about what those notes could look like in your meeting. Again, the longer, the shorter the meeting, the notes can look very different, but I just want to show you a recent example of what that could look like. Okay, so here are the different features that we went over today for Gemini AI Meetings and Messaging. Again, here's the pricing for those different options. So you can see Meetings and Messaging is right on par with AI Security with the annual and the flexible plans that you can see here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at Cloud Asta. We'd be happy to help you. Again, my name is Nick Marchese. This is another Cloud Asta video on Gemini AI. Thanks for watching.